Let's go. Legend. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hi, welcome to the Comic Con Community Podcast. And tonight, myself, Paul, and Dennis are joined by Matt Stapleton from What If Stories. Hi, Matt.
Hello, how you doing, guys? Hello, mate.
Excellent.
Hello,
Cheers.
Matt. Hi, Dennis. How are we doing, guys?
Good.
Be good.
Good.
So, Matt, do you want to explain why we've got you on today? You're a comic book writer?
I am, yeah. I write and self-publish comics set in like film worlds. We do things like Die Hard with zombies and Gremlins in World War II. I've even got like a Jaws, Tremors, and Lost Boys kind of crossover, like a doomed road trip from hell scenario. So, yeah, that's the sort of stuff I like to write. I like to imagine stories set in film worlds. Like I grew up 4 channels on the TV, VHS, same movies over and over, and you sort of take a side character, go, oh, I wonder what happened to them. And as I've got older and they've sort of rebooted and remade everything I love, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go at doing it my way and see what people think. And so far, people seem to like it.
So I guess that's where the names come from, What If, because of, like you've just said, you watch these films and you think,
Yeah.
what if?
Yeah, like but it's little side characters. You hear like a lot of our stuff is like you hear a line, like in Jaws, Aurora's going, Hooper's going on the Aurora, 18 months at sea, pure research. I always thought when I was a kid that's going to be Jaws 2 or Jaws 3, 4, but never happened. Everyone's talking about the USS Indianapolis, but I still think that's the story they should do, like a young Hooper, reboot the series that way, something like that. So sometimes these little lines you could, if you think about it and think, oh, what if this happened? What could that be? You can build off it.
So before you decided to do that, was it always like comics for you as a kid? Or, like drawing at school, stuff like that, or anything like that? Or
No, when I was a kid, it was all films. I was just a film nut, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, or Gremlins, like all those 80s classics that we probably all grew up on, just over and over and over and over again. Like I think Empire Strikes Back, my dad had to buy it from the video store, like back then, like and it was just he always said it was like 20 quid. He's always telling me, I was like, rent it, take it back. What are we renting? We're renting Empire Strikes Back again. So it was a daily thing. So yeah, I was always a movie guy. I liked comics. I liked like Superman and Batman and things like that. But it was more the movies and just an imagination. I took quite a while coming to reading. Like I was a slow starter, but once I got going, I was reading all sorts of things, and then I wanted to tell my own story. So I was always writing stories. I was always rubbish at art though, so I need someone else to help me with that. Thankfully, I found some good people to do that.
So what's your process of creating a comic? So you obviously do the story, then you send it off to your drawing guy?
Yeah. So I kind of come up with the idea that I want to do. Then I'll work on the script and I'll panel it out like loosely. But then I'll work with them, and they're the ones who'll take it
when
from
you say
something.
You panel it out, is that like a strip? Like little bits? Or
So like you can use like various script templates. So you'll be like, panel 1, this is the action that's happening, this is where it's happening, this is what the characters are saying, the sound effects and so on. And you can have pages, up to 8 panels or 6 panels or 4 panels or whatever you think fills that space. But that's usually where it's quite loose, because like what I think can fit into 6 panels, an artist will come along and go, this will look better in 3. And I'm like, okay, well, if I could draw it, I'd draw it, and I can't draw it. So there's no point in me being like, well, I want you to do it in 6. So I try and give them the freedom to bring the book to life the way they see it. And then that way it becomes much more of a cohesive, like it's a collaboration. So I work with 2 different artists, Mark Cooley. He does Gremlins in World War II and our Die Hard and Zombies stuff. And then another artist, Reese Wooten, we do Hendrix together, which is a Jaws, Tremors, Lost Boys kind of crossover. And we also did the Aurora that I was saying about at the beginning. And it's just different with each one, but it feels like that's Gremlins is a me and Mark book, and Hendrix is very much a me and Reese book, because we're allowed to both put ourselves into it, and so it's not me just saying do it this way. I do like to have a say. What they say is what I want. It's what I worry about. How it looks, I let them. As long as the feel is there, the flow is there, then I'm happy.
See, what I love about the Gremlins concept is we all, like you said, we all grew up with Gremlins, and we never knew where Gizmo came from, kind of thing. So it was kind of, there must have been Gremlins, like you said, in the World War. So it's great that you've put like World War II with Gremlins, kind of messing with the tanks, I suppose, and messing with the guns and the.
What's his name? What's the character's name, Matt? What's his name?
Mr. Futterman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, doesn't he? We dealt with them in World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. He was like, it was always the Gremlins taking down our planes, and the big one in World War II. And when I was a little kid, he'd fought the Gremlins before, and that idea just never left me. So, I'm 43 now, and it's been about 35 years rattling around in my head, like, right, I'm going to get this story out. So we did in the end.
And what was with Die Hard? Was it zombies?
And, yeah, that was good because it ended up getting to Die Hard with zombies. That was Die Hard's great, but it's like there's 5 movies. It's just gone on, and they got kind of more and more silly as time went on. And I just, for the 4th one, I was like, they should have made it so he was like a security guard and he was staying local to be near his daughter, and they needed to get into that server place. So it should have been set there, and it would have been kept it more local instead of this big crazy thing. And then in 5, they went into Chernobyl, and I was like, when I was a kid, like anything radiation and stuff that was like zombies, and then kind of those two ideas meshed in my head, and I went, security guard, shopping mall, Christmas Eve. Zombies, let's go. So Die Hard and the Dead was born. Exactly.
So Dennis, what brought you to Matt? What kind of lured you to his comics, basically?
Die Hard and the Dead. Like he was at a Comic-Con, and he was like, do you like comics? I was like, yep. And he went, it's like Die Hard. I was like, yeah, all right, 2 out of 3 straight away. And then he was like, it's like zombies. I was like, all right, show me.
It's a tick list. We get there in the end.
Well, it's a boss concept though, isn't it? It's like Dawn of the Dead meets Die Hard and a kind of thing. And I was just like, tell me what's wrong with that, kind of thing. Like, I was like, I'm in. Let me have a look. And then I read the first one and was like, that's really, really good. And then seen you around on because I started working at the cons and stuff. And then I was like, when you were doing another one, you said I'm doing another one. I was like, can I be in it? and he was like, yeah. I was like, in my head, I was like, there's no way I can't be in this. like if there's hundreds if there's hundreds of zombies in this shopping mall, like I was like, why can't I be one of them? It's like, so and when obviously I am in it, spoilers, but I was just like, I just enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really good. And then when you said about the Gremlins one, I was like, I'd like to see that as well. Can I be in the second one? So, I'm not in Hendrix yet, so I can't.
Not yet, but I'm thinking maybe I can get Reese to make a vampire that looks a little bit like you. If you squint, look, Dennis is there.
Hey, Will, we're missing out here, Will. When's the next one?
We need to get ourselves on that as well.
Die Hard vibe is coming. There will be opportunities to be a zombie in there for you, for sure.
Well, you can do Will holding a board game zombie and he's killing people with his board games.
Board game zombie, I like that.
We could do.
So, Matt, what is your favourite part of the writing process?
That's tough. I think probably the beginning, because at the beginning it's all exciting. Like you have an idea and you kind of can't wait to sit down and start playing with the characters and fleshing out and finding like little set pieces of action, like, that's gonna be really cool to do, or like twists, or whatever the story is. The beginning is where it's really exciting. It's with comics, especially, like because I write it all and then I hand it off to the artist. Sometimes it's like, right, I've done my bit. We will sit and have various meetings, and me and Mark will talk back and forth, and me and Reese will go, "What about this?" and change that. And things really develop as we go. It's like there's nothing new for me. Really, it's just sort of tweaking what's been written and put down. So sometimes, like, you work on this book for a year, but my main bit was right at the beginning, and then it's like you get it in your hands. It's like awesome, but also a little bit, man, I'm sick of this. Sometimes I probably shouldn't say that, but by the time it gets there, you know, and then you have like a couple of weeks off of it, and you like start looking at the book properly and going, man, we've really done something great here. But just through like going back, like I'm sure the artists feel the same, like where they're writing, they're drawing those pages day in, day out. It's like another zombie, another this, another. Like, oh, that was annoying. But then once they've got the book in their hand, like, yeah, this is it. This is great. But yeah, definitely.
Dennis, and you're like, oh, they've got to draw a big guy, and they're like, well, could you not find her a smaller guy?
Yeah, you get things like that sometimes. Like I'll write something, and they'll be like, "See this page you've written? Like, there's like 6 zombies in here." It's like it doesn't need to be. We could have it closer here with some zombies in the background, and they're just like 2 close-up ones, and that would be easier, and it would look better. And then that's what I was saying earlier. Is that's when I kind of go, I bow to their knowledge and go, all right, well, if you think that that's going to look better and convey what I was trying to say, is that there's a lot of zombies around, then cool. But I'm not going to go, no, you have to draw them all one by one, close up.
Do as I say. So when you say the writing process there, are you one of those who just, like you say, from the beginning to the end, or do you do that? You know, I've heard writers say they do the ending first and then they do the middle, or some people do the middle first, or, you know, I find that kind of strange because I couldn't write the end. I'd have to start from the beginning, you know, but, you know, some people probably get writer's block because they're doing the beginning. So
yeah, it's a weird old thing. Like sometimes I'll get the ending first, and that might be all I have, and then I'll sort of work backwards to how did we start and how did we get there. Other times I'll just be excited, sort of follow the journey, like what's going to happen next. And it was a bit like that with Die Hard of the Dead, because I'd written it kind of as a film, just a film script that I wanted to do, put it in a drawer. I was like, it's never going to happen. And then we started like rewriting it for a comic, but also it was in an anthology at the beginning. So we were like, well, we just need to get like the first 15 pages out. So I was like, don't really know where everything goes yet. I'm sort of rewriting it on the fly, but we'll get those 15 pages out. And then people liked it. So it was like, okay, so we'll get the next 20 pages out. So for that sort of first issue, it was really just kind of making it a fun ride. And that was kind of the energy. And it sort of followed Die Hard of the Dead through most of the process, was a bit like that. Whereas Gremlins and Hendrix, I was a bit more locked in on what was happening. Until you get people like Dennis saying, "Can you fit me in somewhere?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man. I'll just write a scene." that whole tank bit that you're in Gremlins too. Me and Mark were like, it's really funny when we're editing it all at the end and getting all the book together. It's like, this bit doesn't really need to be here. It doesn't end. It doesn't pay off anywhere. It's not like you come back. It's just like, you're there and it shows that there's other action going on the battlefield. But you don't come back. And we were like, but it's Dennis. You've got to have him.
Yeah. I honestly thought the same thing. I thought I was going to meet up with them all at the end or something like that. I was like, still boss, still really enjoy this. Like, I'm glad it was in there.
I that's kind of what we were thinking. We wanted you to, but then it just got to a point where we didn't want it to be like Return of the King, where it's like, there's been an ending, and but now Dennis has rolled into town, and now we have to have another kind of ending. It's like, it's done. It's cool. Dennis will meet him somewhere along the road one day, but not now.
It was fun. Really fun book. I thought, when you say about side characters as well, I don't want to spoil it because you didn't even tell me, or I had no clue when I was reading it or anything like that. But there's a side character in it who's from another film, and I was just like, that is perfect. Like,
I know who you mean. I
won't spoil it, but honestly, if you haven't read it, honestly, and you're a fan of, like, let's just say you're a fan of 80s films, you'll have seen this film, and this person is great. It was just a great addition to the book. I thought it was really, really good, and it fits in so well. That's all I want to say. It was really good. If you've read it and you know what I'm talking about watching this, then you know what I'm talking about.
Without giving a spoiler on that as well, like that character being in it, that's a bit like what you were talking about, coming back to the writing process and stuff. Because Gremlins started as a 20-page issue, it was a tribute. That's all I wanted to do. So I wasn't going to do any more, just that. And So we put this side character in, and it was really just a joke. Like, yeah, cool, he's on the last page. It's fine. People who know their stuff will be like, oh, that's cool, but it's only going to be this 20-page book. And it turned into a 180-page story told across 2 books. And once that character was there, I was like, well, can't just like leave him standing about because that would be disrespectful. So it became, I had to flesh them out. And now, like, people like yourself read it and go, oh man, that's awesome that they're in there. So it was kind of a happy accident in a way.
Yeah,
So what was your
I
favourite
want
film
to
in the
talk about
80s?
it, but I can't.
Yeah, I know, we've got to keep it quiet. Did you say what was favourite film
What
in
was
the
your favourite
80s?
film in the 80s then, yeah?
Oh,
You're saying
I
that
think-
kind of inspired you, didn't it, really, to do this what if? So
yeah. I mean, I think if I went back to young me and was like, what's your favorite? It would be the Star Wars or Jaws, like, because Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi were just on loop, and Jaws, we had like Jaws 1 and 2 taped off the TV with like 2 Scooby-Doo cartoons in between, which probably explains an awful lot about me, because I would watch that, rewind it, watch it again, rewind it, watch it again, and now we do kind of crazy Jaws comics. So yeah, I think Jaws and Star Wars would have been the 2.
do you actually enjoy comic books now? Like other people's comic books?
I do. Yeah, I do. I'm not as well versed in comics as I should be. Like sometimes I'll meet people at Comic Cons and they're like, "Oh, this is really good. Do you know this artist or that artist or this comic writer?" And I'm like, "Oh, I know the name, but I really should know everything they've done because they're amazing." But like, I'm more like that with screenwriters and like directors and things like that. But I do really like comics. Like obviously I've got a big old collection of Batmans that I'm working my way through. I try and support all the indies when I'm at cons, so I'll buy a lot of stuff. I've got like a stack of independent ones that I will get to eventually when I'm not writing all the time and going to all the Comic Cons under the sun. But yeah, I do like comics, but I'd say film was my first love, and I wanted to write for film and TV, and that's kind of a dream. But comics became the next. It became something I could do, where I could tell stories and I could control it. Whereas for a film, just felt like a dream that was just that bit too far away. So, yeah, that's where we are at the moment.
So we've talked with other comic book writers and horror writers and basically other writers, and what we like to know is, like, can anyone pick up any comic of your comic, or is there a series? Or because we was talking about, like you said, you mentioned Batman and Superman there, and me and Will's mentioned it, and I think Dennis has in the past before, is you can't pick up issue 1 anymore. You know, when we got them in the UK, we got Batman, Superman issue 657, and you didn't have a clue what was going on for the 600 episodes, you know, because we never got them. So with your comic books, is it just basically a one story we can pick them up straight away and pick up anything, or do we have to start with one? And
I've got 10 books, so there's 4 in the Die Hard series, there's 3 in the Hendrix series. I've got the 2 Gremlins, and we've got the 1 Aurora. So I mean, they're easy to pick up. Obviously, like the Hendrix one, the 3rd one is a Lost Boys one, so you don't want to pick up 3. You want to start at the beginning and get to that one, or you're going to be a bit like, we've missed half the journey of how
like
they
we
got
did
here.
when we were kids.
yeah, exactly. So you want to be able to follow the story through, right? But yeah, in general, that's easy to get. I find, like, going back to what you're saying about like Batman and stuff, a lot of people I speak to at Comic Cons are like, "Oh, I've never read a comic," and they always say, "I wouldn't know where to start," because like with Batman or any of them really, there's been around for a long time, but you got the old school Batman, you've got the new versions, all these different ones, and they're like, I don't want to read the bad ones. I don't know what the good ones are. That one's halfway through a run. So it's all a bit scary and overwhelming. Whereas, mine's all straightforward. So I always tell them, start with these. I
think that's what it is, because like I said, even when we was kids, even now, you can go up to a comic book stall or a comic book shop if you can find one, and you go, what do I do? You have no clue what to pick up. Do you know what I mean? So, like Dennis said, you stopped Dennis, and he was like, "Yeah, I like comics, but yeah, what do you do?" And then when you're ticking all the boxes, it kind of spoke to him. Do you know what I mean?
Just we generally on that real quick. I said this on a previous episode, Matt, that I don't know why I never really had time. I never gave time to anyone who self publishes. I always thought I don't know. I just bet it's not like good quality. I don't know why I had that stupid stigma, but like.
Yeah.
I've missed out on so much because of that. Do you know what I mean? I know I have now, and if anyone has got that opinion, not only should they not have that opinion, they should probably start with reading your comics because they're just fun. You know what I mean? They're just like really good fun. They're not dead expensive like the way some comics can. Like you were saying, then they're quite self-contained in the sense of like, you know, that the story's finished for like
Yeah.
Gremlins, hasn't it, and stuff like that. So it's like you're not going to be reading hundreds and hundreds of issues. And what if he just decides to stop writing them? You know, you haven't got that worry. You've done them. It's you know.
Yeah.
And if
Exactly.
you
Like we've got. There you go.
no, I was just going to say if you're a fan of some of the old horror 80s horror or like 80s action movies and stuff like that, you're going to enjoy your books as well. I mean, like even like little things that you've put into some of them as well. Like I said before, that character.
Yeah.
One of your stories is basically like a They Live spin-off, and I was just like, this is brilliant. You know what I mean? It was like,
Oh yeah, that was in the end. Book one, wasn't it? The first anthology book. You got him right at the beginning.
yeah, mate, I had to. but like the thing is, the problem with comics is they can't sell them. Some of them can't sell themselves. You know what I mean? Like established ones like Batman and stuff. All they have to do is put it out there, and people are going to buy it. But with yours,
Yeah.
I think you're a good salesman as well. Like you know, when you're saying about like, do you like comics? And I was like, I was half listening, and then you were like, do you like Die Hard? And I was like.
Oh,
Zombies.
listen a
I was
little
like,
bit more.
what? Zombies? I'm in. What? Where's the sign up?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
kind of the
that's
plan.
the
Like,
difficult part, though, isn't it? Because, like I said, we've all been to Comic Cons, and I see many people who've wrote fantasy books or horror books, or, like you said, comic books. There's a few people there with stands, and there's a lot of people who do walk past, you know, who not think of it. What do you do? Oh, do a fantasy book. Oh, okay, then I like fantasy book. Like Dennis, I've been naive as well and gone, yeah, and walk past. Where like it's got to be very hard for you, you know, as a stall trying to sell your own book.
yeah, it can be. I mean, I just talk to everybody. Like that's I probably annoy people sometimes. I annoy myself by the end of the day, but I also get an awful lot of people who say, "Ah, thanks so much for stopping me. I never would have seen this. Like, I love it." And you know, we get lots of good positive feedback, and some of it feedback I never would have expected. I was telling someone the other day, like one of the best messages I got was someone sent me a message about Die Hard of the Dead, and they were like, I suffer with depression, and I've just been reading your books like every other day for the last few months, and it's really helped me. So I just wanted you to know that." And I was like, when I decided to make Die Hard of the Dead, I didn't think it would impact anyone in any way. So that it has done that is like a really nice thing to know. But yeah, selling at Comic Cons, go back to the main question, is hard, but I'm pretty good at it, if I say so myself.
Well, you have to be, like you said, because it is tough. It's you've got to sell the story, you've got to sell yourself, basically. So if you just stood there or sat there behind a desk, you're not going to get any interest.
Yeah, that's it. I always tell people that one of the first Comic Cons I went to as a punter. I didn't have a book, but I went to the show, and I remember we went to the artist alley, and I was like, okay, I want to buy something in here because like I don't know what any of this is, and that's what I'm here to do. But everyone I looked at was sort of just on their phone. They didn't want to bother me, or like, because people think if you start, "Hey, how are you doing?" that you're gonna get startled and run off, and like, so no one engaged with me. The one person who did engage with me, I bought their book, and I just kind of took that with me. That I was like, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to scare them off. I'm just going to make it all super accessible. And if they're like, nah, it's not for me, I'm like, yeah, cool, no worries. Who's the next person to chat to? You're only going to end up having a conversation, so you can't lose really. But sometimes you start chatting, and people are like, oh my god, I love Gremlins. I actually always wanted to see this idea, and I wondered why they never made it. You've made it, or I'm buying. Like, but if you just sort of stand on ceremony, they look at it and go, yeah, I don't really know what that is. I'll just move on. Don't want to, you know what English people are like, especially don't want to disturb anybody. So you kind of break that barrier down.
Well, like Dennis said, you did right by him by just asking 3 questions, and that's all it was. You know,
That's it.
I
Sometimes that's all it takes.
actually pester people for, you know, as well at Comic Cons. Like, if I see someone with a Gremlins bag, I'm like, hey, have you seen that stall over there? You know what I mean?
I
I do.
appreciate
you
it.
like
man.
Gremlins?
Or
Get
see
over
someone
there.
dressed
Get
as,
over there.
I seen someone dressed as John McClane. I was like, "Do you like Die Hard?" And he went, "No, what do you think?" I was like, "Do you like zombies, mate?" And he was like, "Yeah." I went, "Go check out that stall over there." You know what I mean?
Thank you, man. I'm gonna have to
No,
put
it's
you on
alright.
commission, aren't I?
He's already had commission. He's in one of the books. That's his commission.
That's
true,
payment
that's
enough. Yeah.
Me too.
He's already spreading around that he's famous, you know. So
But I
you
do. What's
had
it called?
someone get you to sign it, didn't you? That one of
Yeah,
them?
someone asked me to. When we did the photo, someone went, "Is that you?" I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "Can you sign it for me?" I was like, "Yeah, fine."
That's good.
But like,
you should have said you do know I've won gold medals. That's what you should have said.
Yeah.
do you know what was awkward actually? Just real quick when you first started drawing me, if you remember, I had hair, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then and then like I was like, I'm gonna have to shave this off, shave it off. And the original artwork for it, like the draft, I've
Yeah.
still got hair on it.
Yeah. I saw that you put that up, right? Yeah, it, like popped up on my feed, like the green you. I forgot all about that. Like I was like the animate. I put something like the animated reanimation of Dennis O'Shea is coming to get you in Die Hard 3.
Yeah. I went to Comic Con with the same clothes on that I had on the thing as well, so it looked like I come in costume.
Nice. So he's cosplaying our zombies. That's awesome.
So what advice would you give to upcoming people who think, do you know what, I'm going to write a comic book today? It's, you know, some
Don't do
people
it.
get these thoughts and don't do it, basically, yeah. But no, but you know what I mean? Where does that come from? Like, say I was sat here, like you were sat there that day and you went, I'm going to do a comic book. How does that happen? How does that come about? It's basically, you've got to get up and do it, and you can't just say, I'm going to write one.
Yeah. I think just if you really wanted to write something, pick your story that you know you love and just dedicate the time to it. Because I meet people sometimes who are like, oh, I want to do a comic. But then you start talking to them like, you don't really want to do a comic. You see this as like a springboard to somewhere else. Like you want to kind of get an idea and you'll find an artist who'll, you know, will go halves on the royalties or whatever of royalties of what you're going to be self-published. So it's going to just be a hard grind. And like, it needs to just be, I have to get this story out and I really want to do it. And if you're passionate about it, you'll do it and you'll get your story out.
I think that's what comes about because, like I said, the last comic book writer we spoke about, he said basically the exact same, that you've got to enjoy it, you got to love for it. You can't just go, I'm going to do this because I want to become a millionaire. I want to do this because I want to become famous. He said that's pipe dream. That's not thing. It is, you've got to be able to love it and have passion for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like, you know, I wanted to do the Gremlins story, and that book ended up getting to the director of Gremlins, and he was like, "Hey, this is really good." So finally, someone's doing something new with it, and sort of that was really encouraging. And we did the Hendrix one, the Jaws one, that ended up getting to the actor from Jaws, and he liked it. So I think if you follow your path, you'll end up getting the things you want anyway if you put the energy into it. But if you set out just kind of like, I want to get here and I'll do something to get there, it won't work. You've got to love it, especially because it's not just writing a comic. You got to write it, you got to commission the artist, you got to work with the artist. Then the hard work really starts because you can't just bang it on a website and sell it. It won't work. You've got to get out into people, and yeah, it's a lot, but it's well worth it, I reckon.
Well, you might have answered the question in that the next question, basically, because I was just about to say, like, it's got some days are going to be lonely and some days are going to be depressing and thinking, I can't do this, you know, and stuff. But like you've just said, if you're doing it for other people and not yourself, you're probably going to lose interest. Because, like I said, people might go, I want to start a comic book, start it, and then go get negative feedback and go, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah, it could happen. Like I've just committed to this like we go everywhere. After lockdown, it was like any show that was on. If I could go, I'd go. I went to a cat show. I was like, well, people want to sit and read a book with a cat on their lap. Why not? You know, we didn't do amazing. You wouldn't expect to. We were at a cat show, but we didn't do half bad. And you're always just trying to connect with the audience. And yeah, sometimes it is like, oh, I traveled really far for that show, and I didn't really find my people. And you know, going home with a case full of comics, and it's heavy and it's tiring. But then you go to other ones, and people are like loving what you do. And you just got to take the rough with the smooth and keep going, I think.
So what's next on the horizon? Have we got something planned, or is there something in there?
Yeah, so we're finishing Die Hard.
We might have to kick Dennis out here, though, because he'll probably want a piece of the next one.
Oh, he's definitely going to want a piece of the next one, for sure. I've already got him in mind for it, though, so it's fine. But basically, we've got Die Hard of the Dead 5 we're doing. That's the end of that story. And we're doing Hendrix 4. So they're both in the works at the moment. Once they're finished, the story arcs are finished. So then we've got complete story of Gremlins, complete set Die Hard. And Hendrix is a road trip through Movie Town. So it could go on forever, but we're going to end it on sort of like that's the end of that story. There could be another one, maybe one day, but that's it. We'll probably... we'll definitely carry on doing Aurora, me and Reese. But yeah, I've got Dennis knows about DEFCON 1. You've seen the poster before, I think, I had it with Danny Trejo and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not got Danny Trejo. I did try.
You got Dennis, that's all you need.
But he's doing his own comic, so that is not going to be a thing. But that's fine. But Dennis is going to be that's he's replacing Danny Trejo. He's coming in.
Breaking news, Dennis, you're the star.
Okay.
No, but he probably will be in it, though, I would imagine, at some stage. But yeah, that one is the next thing we want to work on. So it's like Three Amigos meets Dawn of the Dead is kind of the idea. It's a zombie-like infection, spreads through a Comic-Con. And it falls to like actors to have to save the day, basically. So yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I've managed to get some actors to sign on for it. I'm not sure what I can say and can't say yet, so I won't say it yet. But there'll be announcements soon of who's coming.
Oh, that's exciting!
Yeah, that's
You
I want to say it. I want to say it here, but I don't want to get in any trouble either. So I won't.
Pause this, Will.
And it's
sneakily
recorded.
In a couple of weeks, add it in and say, we got the world's exclusive.
But so we're doing that, and well, so the other thing we're doing is like we've started a side hustle of it's a passion thing. Like I said, I love film directors. And so we've started like a tribute range of art for different directors like Wes Craven, John Carpenter, Joe Dante, all people who inspire me to tell my stories in the first place. So that's something else we're doing at the moment. So we've got a Kickstarter going currently for that. But that's something we're going to see how it goes, and hopefully do other directors along the line, Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino, and there'll all be limited artworks is the idea. So like we'll print off like 100 t-shirts, 100 prints, and when they're gone, and then we do the next one. But that's something else to go alongside the comics.
Nice.
So you mentioned Comic Cons. Have you got some upcoming Comic Cons?
Oh yeah, they never end. Thankfully, it's this year particularly they clash a lot, which is it's frustrating because you're like, I want to go, I can't be in two places at once. But I've got Liverpool Comic Con, Monopoly events, Liverpool Comic Con coming up, MCM.
See both of them.
Yeah, we'll see you both. Nice. Yeah. I lost track of how many, but there's a lot coming up. But they're the two next ones because we're nearly in. I can't believe we're nearly in May. But yeah,
I know. Yeah, Comic Con season's coming up now. Comic Con season.
That's it. Yeah, I feel like I've I've been at cons for the last 4 months anyway, but obviously we're now coming into the thick of it, so now it will really start ramping up. But yeah, it's been January and February are always the hardest because you're like, there's not much you kind of scratching around the shows, but yeah, it's got to get good.
So you mentioned Gremlins, as you said. Has Zach ever seen your comic?
He has, yeah. So I showed him the first little issue, like London Film Comic Con, and I wasn't sure he was too impressed. He signed my stuff and we chatted a little bit. He said it was cute, which I was like, does that mean you like it or you don't like it?
I know what you mean. I've met him myself, so yes.
But then I was in Aberdeen and people kept coming over to me. We had the bigger book by then. And they're like, "Oh, I bought it," and I went and got Zach to sign it. So he was signing all these Gremlins books. So I had about 3 or 4 people come. So I was like, I better go see him. He's not going to remember the previous one anyway. So I gave him the bigger book and obviously told him about Joe Dante and stuff. And when we chatted a little bit more. And I think he likes it now. Well, I'll find out. I'll give him the second book and see.
You likes it because you've forced it on him.
I mean, he's like a hero.
Yeah, he's getting all these people signing all these, and he's going, yeah, and he's going, what are these? What are these?
Exactly. So what is it?
Yeah, I don't remember doing this. I don't remember being in World War II.
He liked, I think, that it was Dick Miller because he was saying, he was a real character on the set. We didn't have time to go into stories, but he was saying he was a really good guy, which was nice to hear.
So if people want to buy these comics, where can they go and get them?
So they can go to www.whatifstories.co.uk. I think sometimes I worry it's com. I'm pretty sure it's co.uk.
I'm sure Dennis will send all the links for everyone.
If they just bang What If Stories into Google, I'll be on. They'll find it.
Do you have an app by any chance?
I did try setting up an app. It didn't go very well. I tried it, and I had a few people like the scan. The idea was you scan the QR thing, and I was like, okay, cool. Once they're on the app, then I can do things like when I'm at an event, be like, bang, here's a promo code. Anyone who finds me at the event, use that, and you can get. But getting people to sign up for it was just. I haven't even managed to do a mailing list. This is where I fail. I'm really good at shows, at talking to people and selling the book. But I should have a massive mailing list, the amount of shows I've been to. But I just getting that done as well it's hard when you're on a show on your own all the time. So that's the next thing: an app and a mailing list. Sort it.
So is directing the way you want to go in the future? Like
Directing.
Film, directing.
I love film. I don't think I'd be good enough to direct. There's so many things to juggle and people to manage, and it's such a big process. But I used to think when I was younger I wanted to direct, and then I got older, kind of thought I don't think, a bit like with the comic, I don't want to draw it. I want to give you the story and you draw it. So I want to write the film and then hand it off to the more talented people, and they can bring it to life. And I don't mind being the guy in the background whose work you really love, but you don't even know what I look like. It's fine. Just give you my stories.
So do you think your comic books could come anime one day, like animation, or would you like to push for that, or not bother with that, or not interested in that, or?
They could do. I'm quite. I think the DEFCON 1 thing, if I get that going, because ultimately, like Die Hard the Dead is parody, but it's Die Hard zombies. You start trying to do animations, I don't know what happens. Same with Gremlins. It's all done with love, and the director supports it and stuff. But I don't know if I start trying to do animations, that's like another step. But if I did DEFCON 1, there's nothing to stop me. It's my own idea. We've got people signed on. Who knows what you could do with it, or even beyond DEFCON 1. The next step is DEFCON 1's like the bridge, if you like, because all the stuff I've done is sort of playing with these film worlds. DEFCON 1 is its own thing, but we still kind of fit the brief of our other stuff because we've got real actors and stuff in it. So then the next step will be announce something. There's no actors, there's no movies, there's no anything else. It's just my idea solely, and see how that goes.
You still have
You meant-
movie themes into it though, with people will be cosplaying at a con, won't they? So there'll be familiar characters.
Of course, yeah. There's all sorts you can do
Harry
with
Potter.
that. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And like again, I've written it and rewritten it and done it in different ways, so that it's all sort of there in my head. I just need to start writing the issues and mapping it all out. But what I'm waiting for at the moment is I want one more sort of cast member, if you like. try to find who the actor's going to be. Says, yeah, I don't mind you using my likeness and me being part of the story. It's a bit like in Mars Attacks when Tom Jones was Tom Jones. That's the idea. Certain people have signed on to be part of it. So I can tell you one of them is because Dennis will know. You know Joe Latrulio, who was Boyle in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah.
He liked the Hendrix book and gave us a shout online.
Oh
So I
wow.
asked him, like, would you be willing to be part of this? And he was like, yeah, sure. He's like the loveliest guy. And he was like, yeah, go for it. I like, let me know how it goes. And so that led on to a couple other people. And so we've got, I won't tell you the others yet. We'll wait for her to drop that. But I want one more, but it's proven difficult. And part of me is thinking, I could make the other person just be me, but I don't know if I should be making myself the lead of a comic. It might be a bit weird. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. But there's a few irons in the fire.
You should definitely be in it. I mean,
What's that?
a lot of comic artists have. What's his name? Oh, Sean. There's an artist and a writer who did a lot of books together, and they're always in their own comics. Like in the background, they'll just be like looking off,
Yeah.
like what like looking at the action, like what the hell's that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm in Die Hard of the Dead, and I'm almost in Gremlins because you know this, I think, but like my granddad's one of the characters, but we only had 2 or 3 photos of my granddad from like when he was young. So Mark started using my likeness. This was like family likeness for certain angles, and I was like, that's just me without glasses. And he was like, shh. He was like, I'll change it a little bit, but I still look at it and go, oh, there I am. But I forgot where we were going now. But
yeah, but like you said, I would do it because it'd be my little signature. I'd just be in the background and going, that's me, because that's my little. You know, some people like put a little signature somewhere in the thing, or a little Easter egg. That would be me in the books. I'd put myself in, but not as the main character. But just put myself in to say that's my little signature to me, a nod to myself, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to be in. I was supposed to come one. I wrote it, so like I was one of the first victim, essentially. So like I was in it, like I was at Comic-Con and I'd like gone back to the hotel or whatever, and then attacked. And it was like that was going to be my part in it. And now I'm like, well, maybe I could be a bigger part of the story. So go from the cameo to full Quentin Tarantino mode.
When you say you want one more cast member, have you got someone in mind, or have you got?
I've had a few because it was. I wanted it to be Danny Trejo. I couldn't get him. I spoke to like David Arquette's agent at a show because he liked the Wes Craven shirt, and he was like, "Hey, he might be up for it." But I've been trying to get an answer and haven't got one. A few people I've asked is like I found out like a lot of the agents I've spoken to, they're like their agents for shows, but then they have different agents for image rights and for permissions and stuff. So it's trying to get to the right people. And then I've reached out to like random celebrities online, like just like on Instagram, like, hey, but you know, it's one of those was Christian Slater, who I wasn't even sure I wanted, but I was like, he's pretty cool. he was good. He was good back in the day. If he signs on for it, we can make it work.
If Danny Trejo's watching this, by the way, I was going to say, if Danny Trejo's watching,
he's going to be like, I'm in.
Get it signed exclusive. We'll bring the contract ourselves at the next Comic-Con.
If I see him in the next few months, I'll have a word, mate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, have a word, man. I saw you were doing the Arnie thing, the Arnie tournament, like not tournament, but the Arnie weightlifting show like a few weeks back. And I was going to be like, if Arnie's there, mate, just tell him about the comics. Maybe, he won't mind if we stick him in. He could do it.
You know
He'd be
what?
pretty good.
You know, your Planet Hollywood poster, I'd have threw it at him. You know what I mean? So he could like.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about the Planet Hollywood. That one, I still remember being like in like junior school or something and having that idea and trying to tell my mates about it at school. Like, yeah, it's like aliens come and they think that they're like the actors, like they have to step up and be like their movie characters, but they're just actors. But it's like because it's at Planet Hollywood because that was a big restaurant at the time, and like ultimately they have become the heroes. And my mates all just looked at me like, "You're mental," and I'm like, "Here I am. This is me."
That's one they all owned, wasn't it? Bruce Willis, Sly Stallone, Arnie, something owned that restaurant.
Yeah, that's it. We stuck them all in there, and yeah, it was just a rough little poster I got made up for it.
Was Planet Hollywood a comic, or was it just a poster, or was it what?
Yeah, it ended up just being a poster. Again, it's something I'd like to do, but it'd only really work if I, draw Stallone, Bruce Willis, and Schwarzenegger in it and have them take on aliens. And like, on one hand, they probably never see it, and it would be a lot of fun to do. But on the other hand, I don't really want to invest in making something like that and then get told you can't do that. So it was just a fun poster. But yeah, there's a lot of more.
Do you have to skate on thin ice with that? Because, like you said, you've done Gremlins and you've done Die Hard. Was you okay doing them? Obviously, you've done them, but what was the process of that?
The Die Hard ones sort of fit into parody law, so we called him John Leland, so he's like the real cop that John McClane is based on and stuff like that. So I mean, it should be fine. The Gremlins started as a tribute one, and I just kind of went for it in the end. I mean, we call it Gremlins, but they're clearly Gremlins. But Joe Dante liked it, so I'll take that. That'll do for me.
Well, yeah, if he ticked off on it, we're okay then.
Well, yeah.
Right, it's been great having you, Matt. So you'll be at Liverpool, you'll be at MCM. So if people are listening to this, go and see Matt, go and grab a comic. And if you see Dennis, he'll point you in the way to Matt, I'm sure. He'll drag you to Matt. If you've definitely got a Gremlins bag, Dennis will pick you up and take you to Matt's stall. Don't worry about that.
It's true.
We'll also put the links. We'll sort the links onto your pages so people can click the links and go and buy your comic from there. We really hope that people check you out and buy you because you're a great guy and we want to support you.
Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, guys. It's been great.
We just have one more little favour, which is we do questions from the Galaxy of the Guardians bucket.
Okay.
These are random questions from the universe, so I've not wrote them, honestly. And they've just come. I've just caught them all now, so we'll see what we get. Okay. But you've probably never ever been asked these before in your life, so that's why we do it, to catch people off guard.
All right.
Do you prefer texting or calling?
Or texting. I mean, it's actually.
Are you one of these voice notes people?
No, definitely not a voice noter. I'm always texting, but sometimes I'm like, can we just jump on a call? Because it would just be. Sometimes you've been texting back and forth for 10 minutes. We could have done this in 2 minutes. And sometimes that's the thing with the comic artists in particular, because they'll send you an image. You go, what if we change this or change that? And you're like, yeah, what if we do this? And you go back and forth, and you're like, this has been 20 minutes of texting. We could have done this in 2 minutes on the phone. So we kind of, so generally prefer texting, but sometimes a call is necessary.
We're 50-50 on that one then. So the second one is, if you could hang out with any cartoon character, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Cartoon character. I don't know why. I'm just going to say Bugs Bunny, because, what's up, Doc? It's just he keeps rattling around in my head since you said it. And I'm sure I'm going to get off this and go, why the fuck are you hanging out with Bugs Bunny? But,
I did not say Peter Griffin.
You could have picked Homer Simpson. Oh no, the list goes on. What am I doing?
So third one is horror or comedy?
Horror and comedy. But no, horror.
Oh, come on. Just one.
Comedy horror.
Yeah, just
Comedy
horror,
horror.
just horror.
Yeah. Question 4 is Marvel or DC?
That's really tough because like I like all the Marvel movies, but Batman's my favorite. So we're gonna go DC. I'm gonna do it.
Ooh,
Yes.
controversial.
Said what if there, but
Yeah, I probably should have. Can I go back? Can I go back?
Edit. And last question is, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh.
To be able to draw.
Again,
so
it's
that you
really
don't have
tough
to keep
because, like, you know, you want to
I
fly.
think you missed that
fly
one.
with-
You missed that one, Matt.
What was it?
Will said to be able to draw.
And you don't have to deal with your artist all the
Save
time.
me a lot of money, mate. It'd be very useful, that one. Superpower. Like, I'm just gonna go flying. Flying would be pretty cool. Be able to fly anywhere you want to go. That'll do me.
Perfect.
It's kind of
Again,
being able to fly where you're like super strong and stuff as well. So, yeah, take it.
again, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on. And like you said, please go and see Matt at Comic Cons and please go and buy his comic at the links that we will provide. Thank you again, guys. Thank you.
Yes. Cheers.
Thanks,
very
guys.
much.
Appreciate it. Good talking to you. See you later, guys.
good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Take it easy.
Bye.
See you soon.